and welcome back. We're going down the AFC West and we're talking about the NFL Draft of 2024. And today we are talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, who, very much like the Chargers, have a brand new head coach. Well, he was an intermediate head coach and then became head coach. But stories aside, he now will make his first selections of his head coaching debut. And to be honest with you, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. So we are now in the Antonio Pierce era of the Raiders. A new Raiders, a new regime, and let me just get this out of the way. Atlanta screwed you. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Atlanta screwed you really bad. They screwed you really bad. And then Denver came by and kicked you in the face. And you were like, son of a... So let's be real. The Falcons screwed you. And Denver spit in your face after you already were down on the ground, beaten and abused. So now we got that out of the way. With the 13th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select best available player Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia. I like the pick for Brock Bowers. I don't like the pick for Brock Bowers, if that makes sense. I'm glad that Brock Bowers got drafted high, as he should. I'm just sad that he's going to play for a Raider team that even the quarterback situation seems we're not sure either. He could have, man, it just feels that I feel like the Raiders have weapons, but the quarterback thing is just too many question marks. Is Aiden O'Connell really the guy? Or is it Gardner Minshew? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Brock Bowers is great. Trust me, he's great. I'm looking forward to him playing in the NFL. But man, I just feel like he might be underutilized his first year. He's definitely a now. Because if he's as advertised that he was in his entire career at Georgia, he is going to help Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers so much, because he will be taking the safeties away in certain plays, giving them one-on-one matchups. And if Aiden O'Connell can just harness his potential, the Raiders should be fine. I mean, they were pretty fine last year with all the nightmares they went through, coach change, quarterback change, all that. And I feel like I trust Antonio Pierce with the defense, so I feel like they're going to be fine. They could be fine. But I'm just worried that if Aiden's not the guy, Brock Bowers will waste his rookie season. And that'd be my only concern. But to help Aiden, the Raiders kept at it. With the 44th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders selected Jackson Powers Johnson, offensive guard / center, Oregon. Now, Powers is expected to be the right guard because Andre James is the center. I still feel like this just, he was the best available offensive lineman, especially for the interior side. But if he wasn't there, would they have addressed the offensive lineman? I think they still would have. It just so happened that Jackson Powers happened to fall in their lap when many thought he was going to be picked up. I thought he might be picked up, as early as 20th. Before that, I thought maybe he was going to be up there. I mean, they were talking that he might even go to Tampa, but Tampa fell in love with Graham Parton, so that didn't happen. But there was a lot of talks of him being picked up earlier in the first round, and he just happened to fall into the Raiders, which I feel like if that does not solidify their confidence of protecting Aiden O'Connell in his first full year from day one starter, I don't know what does. But this feels like 2 home runs on giving faith to Aiden that you are our quarterback. Now the question is to become Desmond Ritter or not, we don't know, but the Falcons said the same exact thing about Desmond Ritter. Didn't work out that well, did it? But Jackson and Brock, I think you got 2 home run hits there for the Raiders. Then, that's why they're both getting now stickers. So we go to the 3rd round, and with the 77 selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Delmar Glaze, offensive tackle, Maryland. He is currently a backup, projected to be the right tackle side behind Mudford Jr. But I believe because of injuries, but I feel like with Powers and Glaze both being on the right side, they're probably projecting to develop that right offensive lineman into a solidified force for protecting Aiden O'Connell. So that's where I'm going to think about it moving forward, that maybe this year all these gentlemen, including Bowers as a blocking tight end from time to time on blocking schemes, could potentially have a solidified front on the offensive lineman, giving Aiden the protection and probably the confidence he needs to move forward as the starting quarterback for the Raiders. So, yes, it's later, but I'm still thinking that he could probably get a start or two, depends on how the season goes, and of course, injury has to be a factor. But Glaze could potentially be the future for the Raiders moving forward. As of this year, he might get some situational packaging, extra blocker and short yardage. Who knows? Then we go to the 4th round, and with the 112th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cameron Richardson, cornerback, Mississippi State. The Raiders secondary doesn't scare me. I feel like a lot of their success is their front 7. So I can see the idea of potentially trying to get that secondary with younger, fresher talent to maybe find some development angle there. I'm still having him as a later. He currently is projected to be behind Bennett in the right cornerback department too. But I'm still going to say special teams contributor, maybe get some rotational players in there. But the Raiders secondary, I feel like, is the one thing that doesn't have that, that fire, that flared, like, the front 7 has with Crosby and, pardon me, and Spilling. So we'll see how Pierce develops. I feel like Pierce is probably bread and butter since he's a linebacker. Is probably front 7 is his strength. But if they can get that secondary solidified, it's going to be even more deadly against the Chiefs and the Chargers. And of course Denver. But definitely the Chargers and the Chiefs will be the most focus point. You shut those offensive down, and you rely on your new player in Brock Bowers to make some plays happen. So definitely looking forward into that department there. Then we go to the 5th round, and with the 148th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker, Ohio State. Tommy. Another young linebacker coming from the Ohio State. Always good to have him. He is currently viewed as the backup junior linebacker to Robert. So I'm put him as a now for rotational purposes. So he may have been viewed as potentially a later. I'm going to put him as a now because I'm not saying I don't trust Robert Spillman and his positioning. I'm just feeling that situations against the offense like the Chargers and the Chiefs, I feel like an extra linebacker for the run support or short yardage coverages on tight formations could be a factor for them. So I'm going to put him as a now because I'm going to look for his tenacity and his instincts take factor into his decision making in this one. So I'm going to put it in that regard as rotational. Middle linebacker makes sense to me. Then we go to the 6th round, and with a 208th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Dylan Labe, running back, New Hampshire. Interesting. Swing and a miss. I've said multiple times in multiple videos that small school players getting drafted means more than just that. Um, but Dylan is viewed as a fourth string on the depth chart. And that really means nothing today. I mean, we got Zamir White and Alexander Madison as the top two. And running back by committee is not a big surprise. So maybe they'll have four running backs in rotation. But I can't help but feel like he might be in a situation where he might be too. He has a much bigger hill to climb compared to everyone else. Level of competition comes to mind. A position that doesn't really get the credit that it deserves. A small school. I mean, there's a lot of factors against this guy to potentially, make the roster, let alone get some playing time. And for all I know, he might just be riding the bench for the whole season, and he may not get utilized as fully if he doesn't develop quick enough. So he's my first else that this year he may do nothing, and he might have to find success elsewhere besides the Raiders. So I know it's hard, but that's one of the things I always feel like with these. I mean, he's a running back. He's in a small school. He's a late round pick. He's in a position that's not, he's in a running back position core. There's a lot of negativity on him already, but I'll be lying if I say I'm out rooting for him. I root for the small school guys to make it in the NFL. So we'll see what he does in preseason. Takes advantage of opportunities, get a roster spot, contribute on special teams, and then work his way up. We'll see. All right, the last two picks, both in the 7th round, with the 223rd selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Las Vegas Raiders select Trey Taylor, safety, Air Force. I have a major bias towards Service Academy players making it to the NFL. I love it. 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 And I love it because I feel like they are proving that they are not just servicemen who want to do football just to go to school and then serve their country. And sadly, some may even give the ultimate sacrifice for our protection for our country. But seeing them get the opportunity to play in the NFL, get drafted in the NFL, and not like drafted into the military like their fathers probably did before them, is a beautiful thing. Plus, I feel like it showcases that their skills as a Service Academy football player should not dictate their commitment to football. Same with Dylan from New Hampshire. Don't let the university and disrespect, but it's still nice to see. Now, with that being said, Mr. Taylor, I have you as a later. I believe you can probably make contributing factors on special teams, and you're only viewed as a third stringer behind Chris Smith II and Marcus Epps. So you're still a chance to make the roster, but I feel like your contribution will probably be on special teams to make the roster. Very similar to another Service Academy player who went to the Minnesota Vikings, and his name escapes me right now. Andre Carter II. Haha! According to this, he is still on the roster. He wears number 55, and he's 6'6", 256. And he played for Army, and he was a thing. So you're not the only one, my dude. You're not the only one. So I am rooting for Service Academy men that get drafted and make the NFL roster. I am rooting for you. Keep those men dreams alive. That's what I meant to say. So special team might be his best place for right now, but you never know. Then with the last pick, in the 7th round for the Raiders, with the 229th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select MJ Devonshire, cornerback, Pittsburgh. MJ Devon, very similar to Trey Taylor. You guys are looking at 3 on your depth chart projection. Not bad for 2 late 7th round picks. That third is that. I'm still giving you a later because I believe that you can still make the roster, and then we'll see with rotation and of course, sadly, long season injuries plays a factor. But I believe you guys can make the roster since you're both DBs, safety and a corner. You both can probably make the roster on special teams, and then slowly but surely get acclimated into the schemes of the system. And who knows, maybe an injury here, maybe a hamstring pull there, or maybe just basic, need a breather You get some playing time in it. I'll be rooting for you guys, but you guys know your assignment. Make the roster and then make the spot. So that's, to me, I feel like be the way for them to go. You guys have the athleticism to make the team. Now you just have to learn the team. So, and that is all the Raiders picks. What is the grade I give the Raiders? You guys are better. You guys are better. Could you guys make the playoffs? Yes. As a 7th seed, more than likely. A 9-win season, get in at 9-8, and get into the playoff. Hell, the Steelers been doing it for years, so it's not that far-fetched. But you are in a tough division, and we believe that the Chargers and the Chiefs are better than you, especially when it comes to the quarterback department, which will be a big, counter argument towards any Raiders' success when it comes to quarterback play. But I trust in Pierce in his first debut. There are some decision making that I felt like was forced against him, because I feel like we all felt that Michael Penix Jr. from Washington was going to be a Raider. But like I said, the Falcons screwed them. So I can understand the frustration with that. But to me, the Raiders are better. Could they make the playoffs? Yes. But it's going to be like 9-8, barely get in last second seed kind of thing. And honestly, that might be a win for the Raider faithful, and also the confidence in Pierce. So that's what I feel. And that is the Las Vegas Raiders. We have one more team left, and that is our friends in Colorado, as we will talk about the Denver Broncos. They took the last quarterback. They took the last donut in the box. And we'll see what they can do with it with the players they got, and Sean Payton in the helm. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.